Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Bombers Blitz on the College Football Mafia Network. I'm your host, Nathan Bomber Brown. Sorry, I'm just getting ready to play to this. I really appreciate yo. No, I don't dislike Dabo Sweeney. Who dislikes Dabo Sweeney? I just think he's past it. That's all I'm gonna say. Uh, that's all I'm gonna say on Twitter. But I'm certainly not knocking the fact he won what, 2 national championships. Anyway, everybody, welcome to the show tonight. Yeah, it says call-ins. I don't know. We'll have to see how the picks go this evening. This is set up as a preview into the first round of the 2025 college football playoff picks. We will be talking. Well, I guess we got now 29 minutes. And we'll talk about the top 25, kind of see where we think everything will turn out. If you want to be part of the show, make sure you, first of all, are subscribed on Twitter and follow us on YouTube, College Football Mafia. Appreciate everybody does that. If you're watching on X right now, do us a favor, just open up that window and go to YouTube and search for College Football Mafia. That's where we're at. Hit that subscribe button. I appreciate any support you want to provide. We take super chats, the super stickers, all that fun stuff. If you'd like to donate or become a new member of the College Football Mafia family, just hit the little dollar picture of a dollar bill next to the comment box on YouTube. And yeah, we appreciate any and all money coming in because we barely are making it around here, and we sure appreciate everybody that tunes in. We don't do it for money, so it doesn't really matter. But I really appreciate all the support anyway. I see Miami Flo has entered the chat. That's great to see you. It's great to see you, Flo. Um, Hit the like button. Congrats on BYU. Well, we'll find out. I appreciate that, Flo. Of everybody that is going to be watching these picks tonight, and boy, if you're on YouTube TV, you're not watching, are you? I don't have YouTube TV, so I was one of those few people that actually signed up for the ESPN app because I don't want to get rid of my Comcast connection, or Xfinity. But if you're new around here, everybody should know that Miami's going to get screwed. That's kind of where I want to start tonight. Is Miami's going to get screwed? I don't care who you are, unless you're a Notre Dame fan. Miami's going to get screwed. So it makes absolutely no sense. Last year, Miami, BYU both got screwed. So we're kind of used to that around here, at least in my neck of the woods. BYU is certainly going to be ranked this year. Them and Texas Tech have a top 10, hopefully, battle going into this weekend. I hope it's a top 10 battle between two of the best teams in the Big 12, certainly in the Big 12, if not in the country. Everybody knows I'm a big proponent of BYU. Their defense is elite. They have the best two linebackers together on the same team in college football, in my opinion, for whatever that's worth. And yeah, we'll have to see. Texas Tech is a tough get. But if anybody can do it, Kalani Sitake and his staff can do it. Certainly Jay Hill, I have a bunch of faith in. Aaron Roderick and I have a bipolar relationship. He's the offensive coordinator for BYU. I've always been very, very critical and still continue. It's been just a revelation this year, though, to watch him have a quarterback, I guess, that speaks his special kind of madness in Bear Bachmeier. They are on the same level somehow, some way. I don't know where it came from. But yeah, I just want to keep winning. So we'll have to see. But it's good to see you. Miami Flow, and Rock and Rand have their own channel, College Football Express. We certainly support them around here, and I want you guys to look them up and subscribe to their channel as well. Good couple guys that cover, obviously, Miami football, but the rest of college football as well. And I'd really recommend everybody tune into them. They're very entertaining and they know what they're talking about. Especially, I mean, Rock knows the stuff because he's super smart, but Flo is a recruiting guru. If you want to talk to somebody, I mean, he knows. They both know Alonzo Highsmith I've had the great pleasure to meet him once, and he seemed like a great guy to me. But Flo knows what's going on when it comes to recruiting. So if you want to follow somebody who knows recruiting, look up Miami Flo 305. I believe it is on Twitter. He knows what he's talking about. All right. I'm going to start the show just with a bunch of, well, maybe there's not a bunch, but at least the shout outs that are here. I appreciate everybody for joining early. We are 25 minutes away from the ESPN college football picks. Last year, they tried to go at 7 p.m. Eastern, and they figured out nobody was home from work yet. So they moved it back an hour. So now at 8 p.m. Eastern, I've got it up here on my other computer, and we will hear what they have to say about the teams they pick. It'll be interesting. We'll evaluate those live right here. Yeah, we'll do everything we can to give you guys sort of the multi view of all this as it works out. Big Lubbock first in the house, apropos. Texas Tech being represented by Big Lubbock in the house. Good to see you, Lubbock. He says Texas Tech has covered the point spread 89% this season, one of the highest percentages in the country. Lubbock, I would just ask you to do some homework. BYU, I think, has covered every game except for one. So I don't know what the percentage is, but it's pretty high too. But the difference is Texas Tech, at least yesterday, was favored by 10.5 points. So just covering doesn't win you football games. It has this year for BYU, but maybe not this weekend. I don't know. Texas Tech is very, very good. Baron Morton is back healthy. They did lose their backup, who became their starter, Will Hammond. I think that's his name. Is that his name? Very, very good quarterback, and he got hurt. He's out. So Baron Morton better stay healthy. I know it's BYU. While they don't get a lot of sacks, they keep everything in front of them, which is what Jay Hill's defense is built to do, and lean on the defensive backs who have been stellar this year outside of a few gaps, probably 5 or 6 plays all season. So it'll be a good game. I'm really looking forward to it, if not a little anxious. Buckshot Kid says, oh, hey, Bomber. Good to have you here, Buckshot Kid. Appreciate you. If you're on X, you can leave a comment, by the way. Doesn't cost you anything. Just click on the show that you're watching, and it should take you to live chat, and I'll read those. I read everybody's chats as long as I have time and everything else. Daniel Gygax, representing the West Virginia Mountaineers in the house. Hey, hi, everyone. Daniel's seeing a good team coming back, I think. Larry the GM in the house, valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. Somebody that I always agree with, but certainly respect his opinion. Larry knows what he's talking about. Hello, Nathan. Good to see you, Larry. I appreciate you being here tonight. Laura Weiss, the Texas Tech debutante in the house. Good to see you, Laura. Appreciate everything you do for us. Has that little moderator wrench next to her name, and is also a valuable member, OG member of the College Football Mafia family. Good to see you, Laura. Says, hey, y'all. Tech in the house. One of my best friends. I'm not going to say his name. I don't want to bring undue attention to him, but he's a Texas Tech homer, and I've tried to get him on, but he is super busy. He's a really important person, and I'd love to have him on, but it takes time, and I just don't know that he's going to be able to cut in the time this week. I will say this week, tomorrow Moen has a show, I believe, if I remember right, and then Thursday night, John Kurtz and I going to be right here, 7 p.m. Eastern. Yes, the John Kurtz, who I believe is going to go live, or is live right now. Maybe I hate going head to head against him. He knows what he's doing, but he's going to come on at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to talk about the Big 12. And I really want his perspective. I can be a homer. He's a third party. I really want his perspective of where the Big 12 is, because I think where the Big 12 is right now is a big far cry from where it was 2.5 years ago when 3 years ago when people had him dead and buried. I guess 3.5 now at this time. So, so that'll be Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here. Appreciate you, Laura. Thank you for being here tonight. Let's see here. Got going to get down. Glenn Hanna, good to see you, Glenn. Where's Oregon? Sorry, going to come out. I think Oregon might be in trouble at Iowa this weekend. This is not the same Oregon team, is it, Glenn? If I was an Oregon fan, I'd be nervous. I still think you guys make the CFP just because you're so dang skilled. But you lose another game, you don't make the Big Ten championship, and we're still a few weeks away. If Oregon doesn't make the Big Ten championship game, doesn't get that chance to have that final win, you're going to end up like Miami, and Notre Dame's going to get in ahead of you. Is that everybody? Is that everybody? Seriously? Anybody with 2 losses, put your hand in the air and say you're ready to get supplanted by Notre Dame. Is this the year finally? And I'm 55 years old. Is this the year finally that Notre Dame finally is held to account? I don't think so. I don't think there's enough media pressure in the world to force Notre Dame to join a conference, and I don't think they will ever join on their own. And the CFP will continue to bow at their feet. As long as they keep winning, they end up 10-2. They are in the CFP, and screw y'all with 2 losses. That might be BYU. It might be Texas Tech if they don't make the Big 10 or Big 12 championship game. You cannot go down 3 losses unless you're in the SEC. Can't do it. Indiana couldn't do it. Ohio State, maybe. And if Michigan's up, maybe. But it would be. Oh, okay. So let's count this backwards. If they were all good, brands that could pull that off are Ohio State, Michigan, USC. I don't think Oregon. Oregon's a brand, but they haven't won anything. No matter, I know Glenn's a super fan. 3 losses, unless you get into the championship game like the ACC last year. You get in the championship game, you win like Clemson did, then you're in, right? But that's not going to happen all the time. So we'll have to see. I'm not counting chickens or anything like that. Sorry, I got to make sure my laptop stays up so I can watch the show. All right. Good to see you, Glenn. Anyway, appreciate you. Sean, I skipped your one that said, hi, everyone. Good to see you, Sean. LJ is going to play. So if you're a fan of BYU, you know who that is. It's LJ Martin. He was before last week the leading rusher in the Big 12. He did get hurt in the first quarter. Boy, I held my breath. But it was his shoulder, and evidently either he's got a high pain tolerance and his shoulder still hurts, or his shoulder, they were just being extremely cautious last week against Iowa State, or 2 weeks ago, I guess. Again, BYU's coming off a bye week. Hello, Jay Hill and adjustments, by the way. If Texas Tech is worried about anything, that's what I'd be worried about if I was Texas Tech, is Jay Hill's. He's the best defensive coordinator in the country, in my opinion. And you give him a half of football, and he will adjust. You give him an entire week of football while Texas Tech played last week, that's the only confidence I have that BYU might show out this weekend. If it was just you put the 2 schools up against each other, Tech is a better team if you just in the vacuum. But Jay Hill, I'm telling you, we'll have to see. I'm looking forward to it. But LJ is going to play. That came out today. If BYU Tech is a 1-score game and both win out, the Big 12 will get 2 bids this year. That is very possible. Glenn, I'll bring that up in just a second, Glenn. I believe that's very possible. There's so many ways this could go in the Big 12. We got 16 minutes. I'll try to get this done. Tech wins, BYU wins out. That's actually not great for the Big 12. I think whoever wins that end game probably gets in. The one with 11-2, I think, gets left out like BYU did last year. That would be my guess. Now, BYU wins and Tech loses, and then Tech beats BYU in the championship game, then yes, I could see both Tech and BYU going. You'd have to really have a bunch of calculus and geometry and trigonometry and all those things to figure out that Utah gets in either to the Big 12 championship game or, well, certainly into the playoff past the Big 12 championship game. But it is possible. It is possible, but a lot of different things would have to happen. And if Miami, again, I ask the world, if Miami gets left out, how do you let a 10-2 Utah in that doesn't even make the championship game of the Big 12, which is very, very possible? They wouldn't. They'd get left out like BYU did last year. So, I don't know. That's my opinion. Listen to me, don't listen to me. I'm here and you are watching. Okay. Glenn Hanna says, you are not 55. I am 55. I was born July 3rd, 1970. I have papers and everything. It's true. And Sean says the Big Ten is killing itself not having their biggest brands play each other. Yeah, look, all these big super conferences are having the same problem. ACC's having the same problem. The Big 12 had last year. These brands don't play each other. So how do you know if they're that's what we lost with realignment, everybody. I'm sorry, those days aren't coming back. What we need to go to is divisions. And you're going to be hearing more of that in the next few years. We got to go to the bigger conference divisions. And if you do that, now you can have teams winning divisions, and then you win a division, you make it to a semifinal, and then you make it to either a championship game or not even a championship game, just get into the playoff, depending on what the structure is. But yeah, 16, 18 team super leagues, there's simply not enough games. You don't play enough. That's just how it goes. Moen After Dark checking in. Good to see you, Moen. 3-loss Notre Dame is a lock as long as the loss isn't to Navy. I don't think that's true, Moen. You're a Big Ten bias, bro. I'm older than you are. We could go around and around. I don't over a 2-loss Miami. Over a 2-loss. Trying to think who are all the teams that could be possibly Tech. Even a 2-loss Utah, I think it's over a 3-loss Notre Dame. They already beat USC. They've got a couple games. They play Pitt coming up. Last night we talked about their schedule. It's not like they play Ohio State the rest of the year or Michigan. There's really nobody else they can play to earn anything. We'll just have to agree to disagree. Let's see here. Jonathan Anderson. Thanks for being here, Jonathan. Appreciate it. While you're here, make sure you subscribe to the channel and follow me on YouTube. Longhorns sneak into the top 11 of the rankings tonight. I think you mean 12. Texas has come back. So really quick, let me bring that up because I did say we would preview this before we got to the show itself. Thank you, Jonathan, for your comment. This is the current AP Top 25. And for those that there are people that listen to the show that aren't able to watch, I'll just read it. From number 1, Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Alabama is the first 1-loss team. Then you go Georgia, Oregon, Ole Miss. They all have 1 loss. Then an unbeaten at BYU, and then a 1-loss Texas Tech. And then you get to your first, call it a controversy, don't, your first 2-loss team, and that is Notre Dame at 10, which I think is just silly. No 2-loss team should be in the top 10. And being in the top 20, fine. But no way you're 10 in the country. There is no way in hell. Then Oklahoma. I think Virginia might be better than Notre Dame right now. Let's talk about teams that might be better. I would take Oklahoma, Virginia, Texas, Louisville, Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, Utah, Miami again, by the way. Missouri, they already beat USC, so we'll have to throw them out. And I think that's maybe where it ends. I don't think Memphis beats them, and Tennessee's the first school with 3 losses, comes in at number 23. Then you have Washington, Cincinnati. Washington, I don't think Cincinnati is, but Washington is another team that could potentially beat them. There's 7, 8 teams there that are better than Notre Dame. in my opinion. Doesn't matter. Nobody asked me. I'm not on a. I don't have a teleprompter. I don't have a camera coming up saying everybody's listening to Bomber and what he thinks about what's going to come up in the CFP picks. And Moen's probably right in the fact that Notre Dame will probably get a spot tonight, but they don't. In my opinion, they don't deserve it. Now, last year, I'll say this: the CFP a few times took teams, and I know this because BYU was left out a few at the beginning 2 or 3 weeks. Took teams that were in the top 25 at a position and ranked them outside the top 12. That did happen at least a couple times last year. So, there is a possibility that happens again. Notre Dame at 10, but I don't think so. It's been all over the news the last 2. Even Saturday night, I saw some reports where Notre Dame was going to get that nod by the CFP. In my opinion, that was all setting up the table for what's going to happen tonight, where they get picked. And it's going to suck because like I said, Notre Dame's better than Oklahoma? Really? Or Texas? I think Virginia, gosh dang, all these teams. This is the CBS poll, by the way. Let's give credit where credit's due. CBS published the AP Top 25. They don't own the Top 25, so I'm not worrying about the link, but CBS is certainly, they put it together so you could see it. Vanderbilt, I think. Georgia Tech beats Notre Dame. I think right now Utah. Yeah, Utah is probably the hottest team in the top 25. Depending on what happens with BYU. If BYU beats Texas Tech on the road, on ESPN with College Game Day and all that goes with that, you might put BYU at top 5. That's how good of a win that will be on the road. It was shocking that ASU beat Texas Tech. I mean, shocking. So we'll have to see. Let's get to a few more comments. We've got less than 8 minutes now. Let's see here. No pressure on BYU. It's a must win for Texas Tech. There's a lot of truth to that. BYU has a little bit of room, at least to make it to the conference championship game. They can win out, and in my opinion, I think they will. But Texas Tech, again, the problem is, Stormy, you can't say that if Tech makes it to the championship game because they can still win and do the Clemson thing, right? I love Stormy, by the way. Iowa State, one of the best fan bases in all of America. Let's see here. Moen says Notre Dame doesn't earn anything. They get it handed to them. They will get a CFP bid over a 2-loss ACC or Big 12 team. Well, yeah. I mean, I've already said yes. I'm agreeing with you. Jimmy Otson in the house. Texas has to get to 11 to get in. Otherwise, they get bounced by the G5 in the playoffs. Now, hang on a second. Let's be very clear. The G5 doesn't – this is a misnomer. I thought this last year too. We're talking about two different things. The top 12 is the top 12 in the country. It won't take a number 23 and put them at 12. They didn't last year, at least. That didn't happen. Boise State just happened to be there last year. But if Boise State wasn't undefeated, and there is no G6, I mean, we already said it, right? The best G6 right now is who? Who did I say? Memphis at 22? I don't think that's how it works because they rank all the way down. Now, at the end of the year, when it comes to actually playoff bursts, they get one of those. But I don't somebody prove me. I mean, maybe I'll be proved wrong. Maybe the 12th spot will be who? Memphis. It's possible. But last year it was a foregone conclusion because Boise State was undefeated except for the Oregon loss, which everybody made them a win for some reason. Jimmy, it'll be interesting to see if I'm wrong about that. I thought about that all day, actually. I don't necessarily think that's true, but we'll find out. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I admit it. Expedition Greg, thanks for checking in. Ohio State fan says, hey, Bomber, good to see you. Try to get to a few more of these. David Floyd, love you, David Floyd. Good to see you. Watch ESPN rank at least 5 teams. Watch ESPN rank at least 5 teams. Watch ES. Oh, meaning not in the top 20, not in the AP top 25, but yeah, maybe pull them in as possible. Might be right, David. Adam Ontiveros. It's been a minute. Where have you been? I've been talking good about Texas Tech for a while. I know. I like Texas Tech. I always have, by the way. I just have to say, from a Tech fan, much respect. You all have been donating to Tech Barber while his wife recovers. Amazing. Thank you. Adam, I'm not sorry. I apologize. I don't know what that is. If you will send me the link on Twitter, I'm happy to get that out to as many people as possible. I'd be happy to do that. I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. Tech Barber. I apologize. But send me the link and I will. Yeah, I know this. If you let BYU fans know you're in need, they will show out for you. I promise you. Here we go. Okay, this is better. David Floyd says, spell check. Watch the committee rank 5 SEC teams in the top 12. Okay, yeah, that's. I have seen many picks. It's great to see you, by the way, again, David. I have seen many people's picks on Twitter that basically say the SEC gets 6 teams in this year. The Big 12 only gets 1. The ACC only gets 1. I don't see that happen. And then there's Notre Dame, who's taken a spot from both the ACC and the Big 12, by the way. I don't think that happens. I think one or the other, the ACC or the Big 12 will get 2. I hope Notre Dame loses so that the ACC can get 2 and the Big 12 can get 2, which could very easily happen. I mean, it's true the ACC's fallen a bit. Last weekend was not great for the ACC, but I mean, you go Louisville, very good team. I'm glad they're coming back. They started off slow. Tech, who not a great loss, but they're there. And then Miami, of course, and then you get into yeah, well, we'll end it there. But both the Big 12 and the ACC, in my opinion, deserve 2 each year. So yeah. Jojo right here. When does the broadcast start? It starts in 2.5 minutes. Now, I'm gonna bring, and I gotta bring this down because I don't want to have that on. And let me get back here. Just so everybody knows, the YouTube TV thing, it's not even close to being settled. So if you're a YouTube TV person, or you don't have the ESPN everything, which I happen to do, I'm not sure how you watch this thing. YouTube TV is not broadcasting it though, and there are millions who watch on YouTube TV. So yeah, we'll have to see, right? We'll have to see what's coming up. But yeah, it starts in just about 90 seconds now. Stormy says, Bomber, thoughts on BYU game last night? Arizona looked very good. Yeah, basketball. Boy, let's take a sideways jaunt into basketball for a second. The Big 12 is the best basketball conference in America. Arizona and BYU are 2 of the top 6 or 7 teams in the entire country. Houston is probably number 1. Texas Tech is going to maybe be 5. 4 of the top 6 or 7 are Big 12 schools, and then Iowa State, bang. I mean, it just goes down the line. Kansas, I didn't even bring up Kansas. Big 12 is just, the SEC in football is the Big 12 in basketball. Like it, hate it, that's where it is anyway. Let's see. I hope this just starts in less than 90, in less than a minute. Appreciate you, Stormy. I think BYU, Villanova, if you watch that game, by the way, BYU played Villanova. They slowed it down. You know, taking a shot every 25, 30 seconds, you're not going to score a lot of points. So BYU winning by 5 is kind of like winning by 15 in an open game. forget about the shooting percentage or anything else. BYU is so athletic. And on defense, they can switch and cover. They start making three-pointers. They missed 15 layups yesterday. Yeah, I'm telling you. I tell you what. But Arizona and Florida back-to-back, they were fantastic last night starting off the college basketball season. And, okay, let's see here. So it is now 8 o'clock. Let's see. Does this start or what? What do I do? Do I have to do anything? I'm going to hit redo this here. All right, it's live. So as you guys, all right, here we go. I got to turn this down because I've got it. Yeah, all right, there's mute. Okay, so if you're watching on ESPN right now, good for you. That means you're watching online or you've got a cable package. But if not, and that's why you're here tonight, and there's about 160 of you watching right now. I appreciate everybody being here, and we will, as I see these things, I will react to them. While I'm doing that, you guys continue to leave comments. Okay, that's how this is going to go. Last year, it took me about 3 or 4 shows to figure out how to do this, and then I got pretty good at it. So I will read comments. You guys keep your comments coming. This is like a stream of consciousness thing. As I recall, and man, I should listen to this. Hang on, let me see. Can I turn this up? You guys are going to hate this. Give me 1 second. Yeah, we'll have to find out. I don't know. They make this like you're winning the lottery or something. That's what cracks me up. It is kind of like winning the lottery. Unfortunately, you have to do it 12 times or what? How many times? How many weeks are we at? We still have 5 weeks of this. Yeah, it's like winning the lottery. So here we go. We'll have to see. This preview is pretty cool, though. What's funny is they have Miami in the preview. I will laugh if Miami's now been shown 4 times, and if they don't pop up, I will absolutely. I mean, I won't laugh because I think that sucks, but it would be kind of funny, to be honest. Look at that catch, but Miami's got to be in this thing. Got to do it. Nah, you can't. No Notre Dame, please. No Notre Dame. All right. As we get waiting on that to come out, I will continue to read comments. If you want to leave a super chat, I guarantee you I'll read your comment. That's how we do stuff around here. I'm going to bounce around in comments. I may not get to yours. So if you want to make this stick and you want to give a little to the channel, make it a super chat, and I guarantee I will read it. And let me know in the comments if you're getting reverb. I'm just got the volume up just a little bit. Let me turn this down just. Let me see. Did everybody see how they walked in and put hats on a? That's something else I didn't get to. In fact, while we're waiting, all these people look so serious around there picking tables. Where's it at? Tonight, did everybody see they put that the CFP put out a here? I'll copy the link. You can check this out in your off time. They're doing a whole PR campaign. The CFP is this year. And they're saying, wow, this is why you need to trust us. We know what we're doing. Don't believe us. Don't think it's a scam. We're not here against you. Please support us. There's Booger McFarland. All right, we'll keep going. All right, let me get to more comments here. Let's see. I wanted to get one. Okay, here we go. Adam says, oh, wait, no. Wait. No, I'll get to that. Let's see. I saw it. He popped up again. There it is. Adam says, sorry, not on Twitter, but Sporting McSports of BYU has it pinned on his account. Then it was the tech barber, his wife, and car accident. You get this guy tweeted out, and you help. Just amazing. Okay. I will go to Sporting Sports. I follow him. I'm kind of surprised I didn't see his tweet, but I will do that after the show. I will check him out. Everybody else, go to Sporting Sports, look on his timeline. You can see and donate if they need help. Certainly, it takes a village. That's why I started this social media thing, so we could help each other, to be honest with you. I really pretty. I really love that about what we do here. Laura Weiss says the SEC gets 6 in. Wow. Otherwise, they will cry like little girls. Yeah, for sure they will. Strength of schedule and strength of record. Did everybody catch that in the off season? Actually, it just changed last week, by the way. The SEC has put out major news about strength of record and strength of schedule, which are supposed to be new stats that are put out. And the only people that know how they work are the CFP committee. They're not published. Nobody knows what strength of record, strength of schedule, strength of any of that is, because they use their own metrics. So I think they're going to cry no matter. They could get 8 teams in, Laura, and they would still complain, in my opinion. They're explaining the CFP right now. Nobody has any other comments? You guys are all sitting here waiting for me to read it. It will be amazing to see who they put in. And the other thing that we should not forget, by the way, I was reminded about this today. TNT has these first round games, so they're always going to put the best brands in the higher seeded games because they don't necessarily. Okay, so here we go. Tennessee is number 25. Where were they? Where were they in the AP? They were 23 in the AP. Pittsburgh is 24, and they weren't even on the 25. So we're going through this. Okay, we're doing this live right now. This isn't Memorex. This is happening in real time. Pittsburgh 7-2 is at 24. I'm going to keep this up actually, so that everybody can know where we were before. Washington is 23, which they were 24 on their top 25, as you can see. Well, can you see that? Yeah, right there. Washington. Missouri is 22, and Missouri was 19. So they fell down, what is that, 1, 2, 3 spots. That can't be making the SEC happy right now. Let's see. 21 is Michigan. Michigan wasn't even in. Were they in the top 25? Michigan wasn't even in the top 25. Oh, yeah, they were 21. I apologize. I can't read. They were 21, and they're still 21. So they basically held serve there. Sorry, I missed that. I was reading through them really quick. So in all of those, probably Missouri falling is probably the biggest news there. No Cincinnati. And Pitt, which is interesting. 20 is Iowa, which did I miss Iowa in here? I don't think so. Iowa wasn't even in the top 20 AP 25, and I think that is I think they did that because they play Oregon this weekend. Right, Glenn Hanna? That has to be the reason. They can't give Oregon an on. That has to be the reason. So Oregon against Iowa is going to be a top 20 match. Iowa versus Oregon. I don't know what I just said. If I said Indiana, I meant Oregon. So Iowa is at 20. And they weren't even ranked. Liverpool beat Real Madrid. That makes me happy. USC is 20 and they're 19 here. That doesn't surprise me. USC is probably a 19-20 team. That makes sense. That Notre Dame game pisses me off. Let's see. 18, Miami. Wow. So Miami stays exactly where they are. What does that tell us, everybody? What does that tell us? That Notre Dame is going to be in your top 12. That's what that means. That makes absolutely no sense to me. That's brutal. That is, if I am Flo or I'm Rock and Rant, I am absolutely livid. Georgia Tech is 17, Where was GT in here? Let's see. Georgia Tech was 16, so they're just one off. So there you go. You don't have a big fall. Miami falling to 18 is, or not falling, but just holding serve. God, that is just broken. Vanderbilt 16, and they were 15 in the AP top 25. So we will have to see how that goes. 15 is Louisville as we move down the line, and Louisville was 14. So again, one rank. I'm not gonna say a lot about that. Louisville just needs to keep winning. They'll be fine. Now Virginia being 8-1 at 14, and they were 12. See, this is the spot BYU was in last year. It's the exact same spot, except for BYU was 9-0, and they came in and they were held in the 14 spot. I think it was 14 or 15 in that first ranking. That sucks. If you're Virginia, that can't make you happy. Utah's 13. So Utah goes up 1, 2. They go up 4 slots from where they were in the AP top 25. Utah's got a lot of momentum behind them. They just need to keep winning. And we will have to see how the final rankings move out. But that's a big mover. That's the biggest mover in all probably in all of the in this whole ranking. I would think that Utah jump is probably the biggest one we're going to see. That is a surprise. They're ahead of Virginia and Louisville. That can't make the ACC very happy because Utah lost to both BYU and Utah. So what does that say about the Big 12 this year? And I will tell you this, people are human. This is an overreaction, in my opinion, to what happened last year, where the ACC was talked about the entire season and the Big 12 got no pub. In my opinion, this is the public overreacting the other way. And I think the Big 12 is going to get that love that the ACC got last year. That's just human nature, everybody. If you're watching now and you don't believe that, you're looking into a black hole. That's not true. It absolutely is true. Oklahoma and then Texas. So Oklahoma is 12 and Texas is 11. There's your 11 right there for everybody who's talking about Texas. That's exactly where they're at. Oklahoma, let's see, where was Oklahoma on here? Sorry. Oklahoma was 11 and they're now 12. So both of them are top 12 teams, I believe. I think they were going to be in the top 12 anyway. In the college football playoff 12, but we'll have to see. So I think this answers our question. Does anybody believe they're going to put Memphis ahead of Texas? No. So I was right. Pat me on the head. I was right. And there's your Notre Dame at number 10. Notre Dame is number 10, exact same ranking that they were in the AP top 25. And I think everybody was telling us that's why it was going to be in the weekend. This PR campaign for Notre Dame just drives me absolutely bonkers. Whatever, it doesn't matter. So let's feature Notre Dame. No, they don't show highlights to anybody else. In fact, they didn't show highlights to Miami even beating Notre Dame, and yet they're showing Notre Dame highlights at 10. Nobody else got highlights. Maybe they'll do it for all the top 10, but that's just broken. Now, this is where Texas Tech comes in. You watch. This is where Texas Tech comes in. Number 9, you watch. Predicting the future. Texas Tech is going to be 9. Oregon. Wow. I'm sorry. That is. So Oregon falls from 6 to 9. Glenn, that cannot make you happy. They promoted Iowa for your game, and then they dropped Oregon. There are some movers on here. Stuff to talk about, certainly, tonight. I don't know if I've got enough time. I don't know if Rock can get me that other show. I was supposed to do something at top of the hour. We'll have to see if Rock is. So Oregon, have they played Oregon highlights, or are they just talking about them? They're not playing any highlights. So number 10, Notre Dame, they showed highlights for 30, 45 seconds. Oregon, number 9, they don't show any video. If you think Notre Dame doesn't get every advantage over Oregon, even, You don't know what you're talking about. You might not want to watch our channel anymore because that's just not wisdom. That's crazy. That's crazy. I can't believe that. Now Texas Tech. So here's your 8. Texas Tech, and then BYU will be 7, which is up 2 spots. So they move BYU and Texas Tech up 1 slot each. No video for Texas Tech, by the way. They talked about Oregon a ton, no video. No Texas Tech, and then they immediately go to BYU. No video of either of these 2 schools. So we'll have to see. I mean, Oregon falling from 6. Ole Miss at 6. So Oregon swaps places. No, let's see. Yeah, just Oregon drops. There's no other way to put it. So then you're going to run into Georgia, Alabama, Texas A&M, Indiana, and Ohio State. Probably. I don't know. I'm not banking anything on that top 5. They're probably all interchangeable. Georgia and Alabama both have a loss. Texas A&M, who knows? They might put them number 1, but at that point, I mean, the season's going to prove how good these teams are. Georgia's 5. Yeah, and they're 5. Alabama is 4. No video for Georgia. No video for Alabama. 10. Notre Dame is the only school with video. That can't make the SEC happy either. Texas A&M is 3, so they're just following the top 25 at this point. Indiana, and then Ohio State, who you can't take out Ohio State because they're the defending national championship. Okay, here we go. The first video since Notre Dame goes for Texas A&M. And I think that tells you why Texas A&M is a growing brand. They've won this year. They've been bad in the past. They always lose winnable games. So Texas A&M gets video. Indiana at 9-0, they're number 2. Do they get video? No video for Indiana. And then Ohio State, the defending national champions, are number 1. So that is the top 12. And I don't need to listen to them anymore. So we went through that, and I'm sure people on Twitter, Moen, if you're watching right now, you could hop on if somebody has posted the current rankings. Obviously, I'm doing this live, so I can't post what the CFP comes out, but I'll read them backwards to you, I think. Actually, I won't. No, I'm not going to waste time on that. Let's talk about a few things, and this is where I want your feedback, everybody. Let me put this off. You don't need to see that anymore. Anybody wants to post in the chat, anybody, or I can look on Twitter really quick because I'm sure somebody by this time has posted what the rankings are, and I will give them credit. Certainly, if somebody does that, let me see if I can see it. No, nobody's done it yet, or I just don't follow them. Is this it? Nope, that's not it. All right, nobody's done it yet. So as soon as I get somebody who posts it on Twitter, I will share it so everybody can see it. Biggest movers, though, you have to talk about Oregon falling. And I think you have to talk about Utah climbing. I think those are the 2 biggest takeaways. Everybody else sort of staying within 1 or 2 picks of what their top 25 was. That's about right. Texas and Oklahoma being 11 and 12. Certainly, if you're a Virginia fan, that can't make you happy. In fact, was there an ACC team in? Did I miss an ACC team? Let me run through that again. It was Texas, Oklahoma. So there was no ACC in the top 12. Do I have that right? You guys watching this, right? Are you guys watching this with me right now? There is no Utah jumps. This is a storyline. Believe it or not, this is a huge storyline. 17. Utah jumps from 17 to 13, which is a huge deal. Even as a BYU fan, I have to admit that's a big deal. And again, I think it's an overreaction from last year. They're getting the benefit of all the hate that honestly, not hate, but sort of disrespect that BYU got last year, Utah's getting this year. You might not acknowledge that as a Utah fan. I don't really care. But history is what it is, and you can only go off of what's happened before. And I can tell you right now, that's the only way that Utah goes from 17 to 13. I don't care who you are, and argue with the wall. I don't debate tonight. So Utah jumps to 13, which is big, and there's no there's no ACC in the top 12. And in the top 25, did everybody catch that? Memphis, not in the top 25 at all. I don't know what this means, Stormy. I just watched the show. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Okay. Good. I'm glad we're clarifying this. So I was right and wrong. So what they've done is because of the automatic qualifiers that are in the contract. Thank you, Stormy, for bringing this up. And this is why we do this live, everybody. We're all learning as we go here. Oklahoma and Texas were 11 and 12. However, they get dropped. So I was right and wrong. It was 11 and 12, Texas, Oklahoma. But because of the contract, the CFP contract, the ACC champion right now would be Virginia at 11. And Memphis is at 12, representing the G6. So I can only take half credit, maybe, I guess. And if you look at it in the straight seeding, if we're in a different CFP, the G6 is always going to get a spot. Do you argue that the ACC and the Big 12 deserve, let's just say, 2 spots? Because if you did, then all of a sudden you'd be Virginia and probably, I don't know, Georgia Tech, Miami. I'm not sure who comes in there. Probably Miami. No, Georgia Tech's ahead of them. I don't know. But so Virginia was 14 and Memphis was not ranked. But because of the CFP contract, they were put in at 11 and 12. Thank you. Thank you, Stormy. Thank you, Stormy, for saying that. I've read you what just was on the feed. They didn't clarify that in the 1 through 12. So let's be very clear. And if we look at that top 12, Ohio State, Big 10, Indiana, Big 10. So Texas A&M, Alabama, that's 2. Georgia, Ole Miss, that's 4. 4. The SEC only gets 4 in. Last year, what a jackass winking into the camera. The SEC only got 3 last year. And I just lost the feed. Well, it dropped the. Why don't you show us where we're at there? Again, they dropped their little sub thing. I'll drop that again. Yeah, SEC gets 4. Big 10 got. I don't need theirs. I can count. Big 10 got Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon. That's 3. We were expecting those. That's it. So the SEC gets 4. Big 10 gets 3. What do you guys think about that? Big 12 gets 2. And I go, again, this is all going to sort itself out. This is just the week 10. And we go to what, week 14 or something? We got miles to go before we sleep. But the initial rankings matter. They mattered last year. They're going to matter this year. Even being in the top 25 is huge because that's where you're beginning your climb. It's much better to start high and to fall than it is to be low and to have to climb. Believe me, I speak from personal experience. Much better to be high and fall than it is to climb. Just the way it is. Nothing you can do about that. So BYU, Texas Tech, there's going to be a spot. But I don't think the loss of that game, unless it's completely out of hand, like 30 points or something, I don't think the loser of that game falls very far. Utah doesn't really play anybody the rest of the year that they would need to be scared of. So they just need to keep winning and then hope for chaos ahead of them. Notre Dame got a spot that probably should have gone to Texas. Well, I guess Oklahoma was 11. That spot went to Oklahoma, right? How was that? Wait a second. Is that right? Who went first? Was it Oklahoma or Texas? Can somebody remind me what I said? Because Texas beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma is ranked ahead of them in the top 25. I'm not sure who I read first. I think I read, well, I can't remember, actually. Who did I read first? You guys are watching right now. So let's get to some comments. Let's work backwards. I'm scheduled for 35 more minutes. I'll be here one way or the other. I appreciate everybody who's watching right now. If you're watching me live, thank you, first of all. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube to the College Football Mafia. Appreciate that. All those subscriptions really help us out, by the way. Consider becoming a member of the College Football Mafia family. I appreciate that as well. And make sure you follow us on Twitter. A lot of us do a lot of work around here, Wild Ute mowing, After Dark, just to name my direct partners in this whole thing. Yeah, we do a lot of work around here, especially for our members. We do a bunch of member stuff. So members in the comments, you have any questions, if your membership would go for anything, it goes a bunch. There's a bunch of member videos we have. Realignment is our ballywick. That's why our off seasons are way bigger than our in seasons, but this season has been fantastic for our in season feedback. So we appreciate all those members who stuck with us and all the new members that have been here. Thank you for that. Ryan Willie checking in, member for 21 months. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate you. The evil badger is Ryan Willie, valuable member of the College Football Mafia family, saying, sorry, Big 12 and ACC fans, you're only getting one team into the CFP. I still don't believe that's true. I know where you're going with that, but I still think it's big. First of all, everybody want Notre Dame to lose. Notre Dame loses. Big 12 for sure gets 2. And who knows where Utah is at that point. Utah's right on the cusp, everybody. You better just, yeah. And then everybody wants Notre Dame to lose. And then the ACC needs help. And I don't know what they're going to do. They only play each other. So if you have 2 losses in the ACC, hello, stupid Miami. Man, I'm a U fan, and I'm not talking about Utah. I'm a fan of the U, University of Miami, and them not being in the CFP is just broken. It's kind of like not having USC, not having Nebraska, not having Michigan, if any of those brands are never in it. We need everybody in college football. We need Miami to be good. You can hate watch Miami. That's good for college football. Anyway, appreciate you being here tonight, Ryan. Texas will be eliminated when they play Georgia. Okay, so yeah, I mean, all these teams are going to play each other. Here it is again. So Memphis is against Georgia in this. BYU gets a home game against Notre Dame in this playoff. Somebody needs to get a screenshot of that, and forever I need to put it on my timeline. That would be awesome. BYU would host Notre Dame if this was to happen. Remember, they changed the rules. Now they don't have to put the A4 champions don't have to get the first 4 seeds now. So the Big 12 could get whatever seed. It would be Provo I'm going to tell you right now, Provo in December would be magic. That would be that ticket. No joke. That ticket would be easy $1,500 to $2,000 for the north or south end zone. I'm not joking. If you don't know BYU fans, you don't have any idea. But that would be Magical. Justin R. representing the USF. What is going on, Bulls down there? Good to see you, Justin. Texas and Oklahoma, both out of these teams. Both of those teams would be out because of the 5 conference champions. Highest ranking ACC team is 14. G6 team isn't ranked. Yeah, and I unless you guys go on a magical run, I'm not sure they will be ranked by the end of the year. There's so much competition. Could be wrong, Justin, but if Memphis isn't in now and they're ranked, what, 22, and they're not ranked, when are you going to get higher than 22? When you have SEC teams with 2 and 3 losses that are going to be in the 15s and 20s. I don't know that happens. There are the GM, 6 of the top 12. That right there is called running the headline in news journalism. That's a nice way to put it, Larry. Considering 11 and 12 have to go to other slots, that's a little disingenuous. You're right, they did get 6 of the top 12, but 2 of those don't count. So it's 4. But I get where you're going there. I mean, that's the headline. Somebody's going to write that newspaper for sure, that newspaper headline. Appreciate you being here, Larry. Skaven, yes. Georgia Tech can still get there. Yes, they can. Keep winning. The ACC has to have somebody rep. Somebody has to rep. I don't know who it's going to be, but somebody is going to. Sean, look at the conference or difference between Oregon and Utah. I like the Big 12 chances against a mediocre Big 10 this year. Better change your week scheduling philosophy. Laugh out loud. Big 10. And now, well, what's going on here? What is Moen doing? Oh, Moen has entered the chat. Okay. Thank you, Moen. I appreciate you posting this for me. So let's quickly run through these. That's kind of hard to read, but we'll do it together. First 4 seeds: Ohio State, Indiana, ATM. That would be Texas A&M and Alabama. But it's great. They get first round buys. All the buys last year lost. So every team that got a bye last year lost. So that's not something I would wish on. Ohio State should want to lose so they don't get that bye. I think that's why they won the national championship last year. Anyway, we'll keep going. 6, where is 6? Ole Miss hosts a game against Virginia. You want those home games. Tell me you don't want a home game. And yeah, anyway, you did last year and you guys drumbeat. Anyway, Ole Miss hosts Virginia. So let's talk about the first round games and who's watching those games. I think every one of those games, Georgia, Memphis. I mean, I think Memphis is a good team, but Georgia hosting Memphis, probably not a ton of people are going to watch that game. Let's be perfectly honest. Texas Tech and Oregon would get a massive number. BYU Notre Dame might break the internet. I don't know how many people are actually going to watch that game, but that would be absolutely crazy. And I think in that matchup, let's talk about who wins those first round matchups, and then I'll get to more of your comments. I think Texas Tech playing at home beats Oregon. I might change my mind if they look bad against BYU. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Texas Tech's a very good team playing at home. We'll have to find out. Oregon on the road, man, I don't know. BYU beats Notre Dame. I'm sorry, Notre Dame, but you're coming to Provo, and it will be snow, and it will be absolutely bitter cold, and BYU wins in November, which is ironic because I won't go into BYU any more than that. But I don't care who, Notre Dame, welcome to Provo. That would be great. It's not gonna happen, but that would be fantastic. Georgia beats, I believe, Memphis, and then Ole Miss, Virginia. Believe it or not, might be a sneaky good game, but you're playing in Oxford, Mississippi, and I think Ole Miss wins that game. So then you have Texas A&M playing Ole Miss. That's an SEC game. Indiana playing BYU, neutral field. I don't know. Indiana looks real good right now. BYU's defense at that point, if they were to make it to 7 or even higher, that means they're very good. At that point, they've blossomed. Right now, they're on the cusp. If that was to happen, Indiana, yeah, I don't know. Neutral field. Yeah, we'll have to see. Georgia, God, why do we have Georgia, Alabama redo? Can't we adjust these so that we don't have all these redux games? Ohio State, Oregon. I mean, these are games that are in conference games. I guess it's not possible to change it that way. If you start gerrymandering to accommodate conferences, then you get some really weird matchups that aren't earned. So I guess I don't want that, but yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know. Those would be fantastic games. What do you guys think about them? I'm going to work backwards. If you're just joining the stream right now, for me to read your comment, make it a super chat, and I will get to it. I promise you by the end of the show. Other than that, I'm going to pick and choose comments as I work backwards through the comments that I see right now. Yeah, we'll see what you guys are kind of saying. Let's see here. Laura Weiss says Texas has to be pissed to see Tech and the Aggies ahead of them. Yeah, in Texas, boy, don't be surprised if the Texas governor stands up and says, we will legislate. We will legislate. It's impossible for Texas to be behind. Well, I don't know. Texas A&M has a lot of boosters, oil money too. I don't know. Those two guys fighting. Texas Tech, unfortunately, comes in third behind either of those. So I understand the Texas Tech, but maybe that changes in the next 5 years. Texas Tech's got money, boy. And I'm talking about overt money. Texas A&M have old money, oil money, certainly. But Texas Tech's new money, and they like to spend. New money people like to spend. So we would have to see. But yeah, that can't be happy. I took a screenshot of the ranking for Tech. That's funny. Sean says, look at the difference between Oregon and Utah. Oh, wait, I already read that one. Sorry. My bad. Texas Tech, Oregon sounds fun. Yeah, it would be. That'd be a fun matchup. Big 12, Michael Smith says Big 12's 0-3 versus the SEC. That doesn't really, I don't know what that means, Michael. Big 12 and Big 10 are 1-5 versus the SEC, and the best team they play is probably Mizzou. If Georgia Tech beats UGA and Pitt beats Notre Dame, FSU beats Florida, boy, that's a lot of beats. Louisville beats Kentucky, then the best SEC fall to ACC. Yeah, I don't know, Michael. That's a lot. I'm a little tired. Maybe that's hard for me to sort of track. But Pitt playing Notre Dame, that's probably, it's looking right now like one of their, well, they only got, what's Notre Dame at now? And they're 6-2, so they have 4 games left. Pitt's looking like one of their tougher. Do they play Georgia Tech? I don't think. I can't remember. Anyway. Ryan Willie, $2 super chat, says the Big Ten schedule is perfect. Look at the rankings. Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with any of that. That's true. Let's see. I'm going to go back here a little bit. Mug Swiss says Pitt will beat Notre Dame. Boy, the world would be a better place if Pitt beat Notre Dame. And I'm not necessarily a fan of Pitt, but a lot of people will be cheering for Pitt versus Notre Dame. Not would be, will be, actively. And if that happens, I believe Sean is correct. I believe Notre Dame is out. In fact, everybody was burying Notre Dame when they lost 2 in a row at the beginning of the season, and then all of a sudden they're back. It's like, it's like Frankenstein. You can't get rid of them, or I guess Dracula. I don't know. Sean says BYU and Tech both get home games. That would be, if that was to happen, the Big 12. I already think perception's starting to change anyway, regardless of what Utah fans are trying to do against the Big 12. I think the overreaction to last year has really helped the conference. Yeah, that's just my opinion. I don't know. I might be wrong. Kalani L. Good to have you here. Good to see you, Kalani L. It's been a minute. Appreciate you being here tonight. At Ryan Willie, yep. What the schedule lacks in TV viewers, it makes up for in playoff entries. Well, again, this is just the first of many playoff rankings, right? We got a ways to go, everybody. And no matter how excited we want to get at the initial rankings, we got a long way to go. Long way, a lot of games to be played yet. And I'll say this one other thing. If you're a Utah fan celebrating the fact that you're at 13, I would just temper that, pump the brakes a little bit. And if you're a Big 12 fan, this might give you a little heart. Well, I guess if you don't like Utah, if you do like Utah, then whatever. Utah does not control its own destiny. Even if Texas Tech beats BYU or BYU beats Tech, either way, Utah still doesn't make it to the championship game. And I don't think they get in without a whole bunch of losses, no matter what this says right now. I think right now, if you let's look at the teams that might lose. Well, sorry, I keep looking to my side. It's here in front of me. Let's just assume, as we look at this, Memphis, yeah, that 12 spot, that's going to go to somebody. So we won't worry about that. And then the ACC spot, which is Virginia, that's going to go to somebody. Again, let's just assume the ACC doesn't, I don't know what's going to happen to change their stars, but let's say something changes and all of a sudden Georgia Tech's back in the top 10, right? That could happen. If that was to happen, they might move up a little bit, but they're not going to move up a spot so much that they're going to get a home game, right? That's what we have to look at here. There's only 4 games remaining, four games, and there's 5 weeks. Or no, it's week 10. Everybody has a bye week? Yeah, I guess there's only 4 weeks left. So there's only 4 more of these to go. Look at all the teams that would have to lose for you to get a home game, not to make the playoff. Let's just assume you go on a run and you make a playoff. If you're 11 or 12, Clemson and SMU absolutely got worked last year. And I said going into the playoff last year, it might be a poison pill for Clemson. I got to check this. Sorry. Rock didn't get back to me unless he texted me. I just want to make sure I don't have an appointment at the top of the hour. No, I haven't heard from Glenn. So we're going to assume that's not happening. What do you have to do to get a home game? Because that's really, I think, what's going to matter in the first round. You have to get a home game. I look at every one of these home games, and I think every home team wins. I argue with my hand, Notre Dame. And that's not going to change a ton. I mean, how many of these teams are going to lose 3 games in the next 4 weeks? I don't see one. Do you? Do you see one? Of all these, can anybody tell me one of these teams is going to lose 3 of the 4 next weeks? Come on, nobody's betting that. Even 2-2 might be a stretch. So you have to assume these teams are going to continue to either win or at least hold serve, not go backwards. So 3-1. 2-2, I guess, could happen. I'm not going to mention schools that could go 2-2 because I don't want to jinx them, but maybe 2-2. Notre Dame can't lose another game, in my opinion. But the other ones, Texas Tech, if they lost 2 games, they probably don't. If Texas Tech loses 2 of the last, I'm sorry, how many does Texas Tech? They're 8-1, so they played 1 more game. They only played 3 games, and one of them is BYU. Texas Tech's not going to lose 2 or 3. I think these stupid conference championship games, which I've advocated getting rid of for the last 2 years. Get rid of them. Get rid of the conference championship games, go to semifinals, auto bids, and let's go. Let's play football. 16 teams. I love the 24-team thing, but the conference championship games, it's a disincentive to play in the conference championship. Ask Oregon how that worked last year. Win the conference championship, get absolutely boat raced on national television in the Rose Bowl. Doesn't do you any good to win a conference championship game. So does anybody imagine Texas Tech's going to lose 2 or 3? No. The only way they might lose 2 or 4 if they go to the conference championship game. They could lose another game. I don't think Tech loses 2 of 4. I don't think that happens. BYU's undefeated. Now they have one more game to play. To be perfectly honest, BYU still has to get by TCU and Cincinnati. If we are taking UCF as an aside. So BYU, I mean, maybe they lose 2 of 4. I don't see that. Having watched BYU live in person, this team, especially the defense, is elite. So who? Virginia? No, they get a spot. Or at least somebody from the ACC gets a spot. And it's a road game. You win a road game to lose on national television. Somebody tell me a road, maybe Oregon. Oregon and Lubbock? Has anybody ever been to Oregon? Has anybody ever been to Eugene? Raise your hand. I've been to Eugene. Eugene's a long way and on the surface of the moon different than Lubbock, Texas. And I drove through Lubbock, Texas 1 week. That's a joke. I'm not hating on Lubbock. I think Texas Tech's a fantastic brand. Still trying to get that Cody Campbell interview. It has nothing to do with this, but I just don't see Oregon winning on the road in December in Texas. It takes 2 planes, or I guess you're flying to San Antonio. Is that right? Where's Laura? Glenn lives in Eugene. He understands what I'm talking about. Laura, somebody, a Tech fan, somebody tell me, can you fly into Lubbock? Maybe from Austin or Dallas? Can you fly in there from Salt Lake City? And Oregon, they have a private, they can fly private, right? And I'm sure there's a airstrip, believe me. I'm sure Oregon, Eugene, they can fly direct. But it just tells you how far the fans have to go. It's not about the team. How many fans are going to show up? Anybody who thinks these home games is a throwaway, again, I don't know what I'm sorry. You're wearing some different colored glasses. Maybe they're black or something. The team will get in there fine. And all the billionaire fans, all 15 of them, Oregon fans, will be able to fly in just fine. But the rest, if you're going to sell tickets, you might get 3,000 tickets, or maybe because of the playoff game, maybe you'll get, 10,000. At the end of the day, you're still 40 some odd thousand behind. So these early picks they're not small. Laura says you fly through Dallas, then Lubbock. Okay. I don't know. I was on the road, so I'm not. Or Denver, Laura says. Okay. If BYU loses 2 of their last 4, they're out. Well, not if they make that's the thing, Sean. BYU can lose 2 games and still get to the championship game in the Big 12. They and Tech have an extra game on Utah. I don't care how hot Utah gets. BYU and Texas Tech both beat them. BYU would have to lose 3 or 4. The only team that could stop that would be Cincinnati. And I don't know. Maybe. We'd have to see. Glenn says ducks have wings. That's funny. Let's see here. Stormy Cyclone, member for 20 months around here. Thank you so much, Stormy. I appreciate you. Bomber, will you be awake in time for game day? Yes, I will be up. Yeah, I might. I don't know how well I'll sleep the night before. I will be up. And has anybody? I should do this. Okay, Moen, thanks for putting that up. I very, very much appreciate it. Really quick, I want to share this. Give me 1 second, everybody. This is live TV here around here. I really appreciate it. Let me see. Seat Geek. BYU versus Texas Tech. This is how well. Let's see if I can find. Can I find? There we go. Let's see if I can get this. BYU, Texas Tech. Well, let's get to the. Where's the seating? How do I see that? Texas Tech. No. Wait. Sorry, I'm trying to get this. I don't know. This is I can't make this work. But yeah, about 4 hours ago, tickets for the Texas Tech BYU game were over $500 a piece, more like $600 or $700. It's just not the same. It's just not the same. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. Let's see. I'll work a few more comments in here. If you want your comment to be read, please make it a super chat at this point. I appreciate it. Replica checks in. Good to see you, Replica. Thanks for coming on tonight. Miami fans should be pissed with their ranking. You joined obviously late. Replica's been a member for 22 months. All these OG members of the College Football Mafia family. I really appreciate you. And if you're watching, if you're a new person watching, if you can't tell how good we are around here, it's because you just don't know our game. You can see all these people have been members for more than 2 years. And that's because we do fan service. We do stuff for you guys. You guys ask us to do stuff. We put shows together for you. We will look up data and all that other fun stuff. Plus, you follow us on Twitter. You'll always get the news and stuff that we put forward. So we appreciate all the new people that are watching tonight. Thank you so much for that. If you're on X, one last call. Open up another window on Twitter. Sorry. If you're watching on, X, sorry. Open up another window on YouTube and go to College Football Mafia and hit the subscribe button. You don't have to watch me there, but hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. It's great to see everybody tonight. And this has been a lot of fun. I mentioned this at the very top of the show, Replica. I knew Miami was going to get screwed, and they got screwed. And Notre Dame continues to be so. Here we go. Laura says $400. That's not what I saw earlier. So maybe, I don't know. They always do those highlights. So maybe only the ones that I highlighted or that were being highlighted were the seats that I was looking for. I don't know. But the cheapest I saw was 5 something. So there might be some options for 400, but that's, I mean, come on. You want to go lower bowl and you're over 1,000 something. Eugene has an airport, Jimmy Otson says. They do have an airport. It's just very, very small. If you didn't know, this is a rare data point, and it just shows you how old I am. You know the movie War Games? Does everybody know the movie War Games? Matthew Broderick and what's her name? You know, computer takes over the world. The Whopper wants to destroy the world. Eugene Airport is actually where that was filmed when they fly to Oregon to go to whatever that. They flew into Eugene and then they filmed it in Bellingham, Washington, or something. I think it was some crazy Gooseneck Island. I don't know wherever that was, but they flew into Eugene anyway. Let's see here. Is there any other new comments? Replica says ESPN is desperate to get Notre Dame home game. Well, that might be true, but they didn't get it if that's the case. They're traveling to Provo, at least in this early matchup. Notre Dame keeps winning. They'll climb. Somebody needs to beat them. That's all. I'm just asking the world to realign the stars, and somebody needs to beat Notre Dame to put us back on kilter if we can. Let's see if there's any other comments here that I just missed. Stormy Cyclone, Laura, Texas Tech just has to play like the champions they want to be, and they will be fine. Otherwise, there's room for anxiety. Jimmy Austin says, can fly from Portland, Seattle, San Francisco, LA, Denver. Direct. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't. Those are odd combinations. Those are odd combinations to fly into Lubbock, Texas, I think, but whatever. Let's see if there's anything else. So, if you joined late, really quick again. Oh, and Moen just disappeared. Okay, sorry, he cut out, and I didn't have the thing up, and now, ooh, I like this Barstool. I like that. I'm gonna have to use that. Okay, so let me share this just so oh wait, let me share this tab instead. Here we go. Okay, so just to reiterate, let's close the circle. Top 12, actually top 25, and then we'll talk about a couple of exceptions. Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, BYU, Texas Tech, Oregon, Notre Dame, Tech, Oklahoma, Utah, Virginia, Louisville. That would be Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, Miami. ACC's getting screwed there. USC, Iowa, Michigan, Missouri, Washington, Pitt, and Texas Tech. And the headlines that everybody needs to know about are Utah jumped 4 spots to get to 13. Texas and Oklahoma are the first 2 teams out. They get replaced in the CFP by the ACC and G5 or G6 champ. Currently, that would be Virginia and Memphis. Memphis is not even ranked in this top 20 or in this 25. So the storylines, SEC gets 4 teams, Big 10 gets 3, Big 12 gets 2, Notre Dame, and then the ACC and the G6 both get 1. Is there anything else I'm missing, everybody? I don't think so. I think that's about it. So that's week 1 of the CFP. Next week, we will do the same show. We will do the same thing. We'll do the preview, lead into the actual rankings, and we'll see who's lost and who's won. And if the ACC gets any more respect, there is movement. BYU and Texas Tech have to play each other. Oregon has to play Iowa. That's a big game. Notre Dame plays Navy. I don't know that that's necessarily a big one to move. Utah really can't do much more than win. They've pretty much maxed out on their own. They're going to need other people to fall because Texas and Oklahoma are before Utah. So, again, if you're a Utah fan, you did move up the most, 4 spots, but keep it in perspective. You're still behind 2 SEC teams, and you don't control your own destiny to the conference championship game, the Big 12 conference championship game. Those are all the storylines. I don't think I missed anything. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I appreciate everybody watching tonight. Thank you so much for everything you do. A couple more comments. I'm going to get out of here. Kenneth Maynor, where have you been, Kenneth, all night? Good to see you. East Carolina Pirates in the house. East Carolina will knock out Memphis next weekend in Greenville. There you go. Somebody calling their own shot. I'll have to see. That'll be a big game, certainly, for the G6 spot. And then the night UCF, good to have you here tonight. Thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow me on YouTube or follow me on Twitter, sorry. Thank you for hosting this. ESPN can get it because of their dispute with YouTube TV. Can eat it, sorry. ESPN can eat it because of their dispute with YouTube TV. Thank you so much tonight, UCF. Make sure you pass us around. We will be doing this, and I really appreciate you being here tonight. Hopefully YouTube TV continues because of, sorry, I didn't read that right. Hopefully YouTube TV continues to stay down. No, I don't mean that. I don't want you guys to not be able to watch your games. But it certainly, if you came around because of that tonight, I appreciate it. And come back next week. I will be here 7:30 p.m. Eastern next week, same time. And we'll do this all again. Tomorrow night, Moen has a show with Becky and Pickles. I honestly do not know what it's about. I didn't look at his show setup. But I will be on here, this channel, Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. John Kurtz will be right here. There's my big bump. Coming in 2 nights, John Kurtz will be here with me, and we'll talk about all the CFP. I'll get in as much as I can. He's on limited schedule. So we'll talk about everything CFP, Big 12, and I'll see if I can get some BYU in there as well. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. Clint Moses, where have you been tonight too? Man, you guys showing up late. Clint, Oregon State is on a 2-game win streak. Bomber, is Big 12 properly ranked in your professional opinion? Too high, too low, just right? Thank you for asking that question. I appreciate you setting that up. I'll send you the $5 for asking that question tonight, Clint. I think the Big 12 is as good as any conference this year. I do. The SEC, it's hard to argue. You know, they're always, they have the most money going into the most teams. The Big Ten is the most top heavy of all the conferences, with Oregon, Ohio State, and Indiana. But I believe the Big 12, look, if some magic happens, BYU and Texas Tech have a drawn out game. They both play very, very well. And neither one of them is going to fall, whoever loses that game. So I think those two teams still will be up there for the Big 12 championship. That leaves Utah to do nothing but continue to win. Now, the problem with Utah is they don't control their own fate. And I'm not Utah hating here, everybody. Utah does not control their own fate because SEC and Big Ten teams will jump them when they win. Heaven forbid Miami might jump them. If they continue to if they put paid and start winning again, like I know they can, and Beck doesn't throw like 19 interceptions a game, then there's Georgia Tech can climb. Still have Vanderbilt. It's not going away. Louisville's only lost 1 game. And then Virginia, who knows what they're going to do. I just don't. Utah can celebrate their first initial ranking, 13. Good for you. The world would have to turn upside down, which could happen. It's happened before in college football. There have been years when that has happened. I just don't think this is the year that 2 loss to the 2 best teams in the Big 12, in my opinion, Utah gets in. And Kyle Whittingham doesn't make it to the Big 12 championship game, and he will have to decide if Morgan Scalley's going to leave in the offseason. That's where Utah's future is. I would be real nervous if I was a Utah fan. Happy, super excited. You have a lot to be happy about, but it's not going to be enough, especially with Texas and Oklahoma. If you would have come in at, heaven forbid, 11, right behind Notre Dame, yeah, maybe you can control your own destiny. I just don't see it. But, I hope that's fair, Clint. I hope I did that well. I'm trying to be fair. Yeah, we'll have to see next week. This week's going to be a bunch of big games, everybody. So tune in, please. Everybody tune in next week, and we'll see kind of where it went out. I'll be very happy or I'll be very upset coming next Tuesday, but, whatever. I'll be here either way. Last comment's going to go to Glenn. Glenn says, I almost put money on Oregon State losing last Saturday while in Vegas. I'm glad I didn't make that bet. Man, Oregon State is not a bad team now. They just had a bad coach. Well, I don't even want to say that because I think leadership has let Oregon State down. Their coach, I think, got screwed, to be perfectly honest. But they weren't winning. 2-0 in the last 2 weeks is because they're winning on emotion. That's great for Oregon State. I want them to continue to win. We'll see how far it goes. I don't know. I haven't looked at the regular schedule for Oregon State. Sorry, I said Oregon earlier. I meant Oregon State. And Clint Moses gives me Beavers. So we're going to end on that. Everybody, thank you so much for being here tonight. This is the College Football Mafia. Thank you for being here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter. And I will see you here next week. I appreciate all of you. And I do this for you because everybody certainly knows I am certainly not doing it on the hour spent. That's not why I do this. I do this so that I can engage with everybody. I appreciate you guys being here tonight, and I will see you Thursday. John Kurtz right here, 7 p.m. Eastern, and then look for Moen's show tomorrow. I think Moen's doing a show tomorrow night. Just come here tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, and there'll probably be something playing. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. Thank you so much. Stay out of trouble. Go Cougs.